Take two! Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your Travel God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here for video number 2! Video number 2 on your Monday evening. Not dark yet, but it's Monday evening, September the 29th, 2025. Thank you all for watching. Video number 2, right here, once again, on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below, on this channel, and show my other channels your love and support as well by liking the video and sharing the videos with your friends and all that other good stuff. So subscribe right now. Leave a comment on any of the videos from the past, the present, and the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments, because you will get sent to the Shadow Realm, and Satan and Ozzy will eat your soul. Oh, please don't do that. You want to go do that, go do it on your dead channel that nobody cares about. And we move on with that. Alright, follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet, like I said before. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you know what you are. A dumbass. And you're SOL, son. And that's that. So, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on the video if you like. And all that good stuff. And if you're brand new here, if you've never seen my channel before and you're here for the very first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, you relax, you grab yourself a nice cold one, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, get out of here and go fuck yourself. And that's pretty much it. We aim to please here on my channel. And if you don't like it, tough shit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this cloudy, meh, Wednesday evening, getting close to Wednesday night. It's going to be Monday. It's Monday. So, let me reverse that. Take two. So, on this Monday evening, getting close to Monday night, on the Killer Demons channel. Thank you for watching. So, on this Monday evening, we got Monday Night Raw coming up in a little bit at the top of the hour. Should be a great show from wherever it's going to be held from. I think it's Raleigh, North Carolina tonight. So it's Flair country. Woo! So got that. Got some good stuff coming your way, but we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. Got other things to talk about. And we have that. Check out my last week's Raw and SmackDown review and thoughts. Just go back a video, or the link will be down below in the gobbledygook. And that's it. Let me move on with that. Alright, for you football fans, end of week 4 in the NFL in the league where they play, the New York Jets, Jets, are facing the Miami Dolphins tonight. That game is at 8 o'clock. Should be a good game with two garbage teams in the AFC East. And see which one gets their first win. Hopefully the Jets, but we'll see. We shall see what happens with all that. And then we begin week 5 in the NFL with the Niners and the Rams in SoFi Stadium in LA. Should be a great game on Amazon Prime. If you don't have it, you lose. I get it for free. And that's pretty much it. So, Niners are going to bounce back after their, I would say heartbreaking, well, near the end of the game, heartbreak, because Brock Purdy fumbled the ball right after the Jaguars missed a 44-yard field goal. The Niners get it right back, go down the field, and then next thing you know, Brock Purdy has a case of fumbleitis. And the Jaguars get it back, and they run out the clock, and the Niners lose 26-21 to fall to 3-1 on the year, but they're still in first place because of division record. And that's pretty much it. But big, huge division game this Thursday night in LA. And we'll see what happens with that as we begin week 5 in the NFL in the league when they play for pay. Tomorrow night, we got the wild card round, game one. Game 1 for all the teams that are there. We got the Red Sox and the Yankees at that construction site in the Bronx. I think it's in the afternoon. I don't know what time. Maybe I think it's around like 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. I think I gotta check the schedule. But game 1 of the wild card round, best of 3 series in the Bronx. Let's see if what happens with the Los Yankees de Nueva York and the Red Sox. Hopefully the Red Sox sweep them so we can make more fun of the Yankees. Because I've been getting bombarded today by fucking idiot Yankee fans with the stupid Instagram memes and reels. It's just annoying. Get it out. You got it out of your system now. Now shut up. Okay? Worry about your team instead of and the Red Sox instead of worrying about the Mets long off season. Okay? Just stop. It is what it is. David Stern had his news conference today. He said Mendy's going to be coming back for another year of torture. I don't like it at all. I wish he got fired. But maybe David Stern's going to give him one more chance to see if he can produce. I mean, first year was great. They got to the NLCS. This year, total collapse. I mean, what's next? They don't even make it at all. They don't even compete next year with a great team they have. And they might not have Alonso next year if he, goes somewhere. The Yankees are just salivating to get the season over with so they can pick him up. But if I'm David Stearns and Uncle Stevie, I throw a lot of money at the guy. Like at least $250 million for about 5 years. But we'll see what happens with that. But baseball playoffs, the playoffs are beginning, and then this coming weekend, the division series will start as well, and that affects Dynamite next week, because Dynamite will not be on October the 8th. It will be the night before, October the 7th, going head-to-head at 8 p.m., with NXT TNA Invasion. Guess what show we're not gonna watch? If you say Invasion, I'm gonna come to your house and slap you. So, nobody's gonna watch Dynamite. Invasion's gonna get like 1 million at least. Hopefully around 1 million. But we'll see what happens with that next week. Not this week, next week. And we move on with that. Alright, before we get to Raw, let's quickly talk about AEW Collision. And this is your AEW Collision thoughts. You understand? Well, this past Saturday night, back in this regular time slot, coast to coast, from the Marshall Health Network Arena in Huntington, West Virginia. Yeah. Or as we say, West Virginia, or West Virginia. West Virginia. And we got that. And our commentary team, as always, Tony Baloney Schiavone, and the man from England, love, Nigel McGuinness. A great man, and that's it. Alright, so it was a pretty decent show, and then we watched most of it, but I care less. Alright, so we start off with the Death Riders, the Paragon, that's Kyle O'Reilly, Oda Parts, and Barry Rocky Strong, and Daddy Magic, Matt Maynard. Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Ask him yourself. We see Jamie Hayter, the Triangle Madness, Sky Blue, Decla, and my girl Julia Hart. Commander, who's coming back. I don't know if he came out with Alex Abrahantes. I assume he did, but excuse me. And Hologram, they're all ready to fight, but then Kyle Fletcher comes in and jumps Hologram from behind. Hologram was even interrupted by the Dark Hologram, or Sin Cara Negro. So, we got that. So that leads us to a six-man tag team match. So we had Danny Garcia, Claudio Castagnoli, and I believe Moxley taking on Roddy, Roger Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Matt Maynard in our first match of the night. Pretty decent match. You know, Matt Maynard really wanted to fight Danny Garcia. He's like, come on, Danny, what are you going to say now? What are you going to say now? Danny's like, well, fuck you. Tags in Claudio. And then they go to work. We're getting to the end. And Roddy hits a sick kick on Mox for a near fall. But Claudio comes in and swing, swing, swing! The swing of doom. Swings Roddy into Moxley's dropkick, almost like a UFO. Somebody's been watching Kings of Wrestling tapes. Well, William Yuta did that, you know. They did it, and then, well, Claudio and Chris Hero did it first, and then was handed down to a bunch of tag teams after that. Alright, so they hit the UFO for another near fall. Daddy Magic comes in for a big showdown with Garcia, hammers him down, but Garcia gets the tag out. John Moxley, who takes Matt Maynard down, and then Garcia comes out of nowhere with a running, Mox hits a curb stomp on Daddy Magic, and then for added measure, Danny Garcia hits a Super Dragon type curb stomp. Put Matt Maynard's ugly mug right into the mat. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. The Death Riders get the win in under 14.5 minutes. Match was meh. They gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. So off and running on Collision. And that's that. Alright, then we get a video for the AEW Tag Team Champions, Brodito. That's the Ring of Honor Champion, Bandito, and the big man, Brody King, who wants to get his hands on the Don Callis family and wants to settle the score with Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. I guess from last week's little shindig at September to Dismember. He wants to do it on Dynamite when he teams with Bandito. So it's going to be Brodito, I assume, taking on Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks, and they're also teaming with Kenny God Omega. Wednesday nights I get to stay up late, watch Kenny Omega while I masturbate. Hey mama, I forgot them. Hey mama, get to watch the show. Meltzer says I'm in the key demo. Meltzer says I'm in the key demo. That's an actual video. Go look it up on YouTube. I think it's called a Meltzer song or the Kenny Omega masturbation song. I don't know what it's called, but look it up! And don't I have a great sexy voice, right, ladies? Love you all. Anyway, number 1 with a bullet! Bang! That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so 6-man tag on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Brodito and Kenny take on Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. Matt and Nicholas Jackson. Back with BTE, baby. Gotta love it. We move on with that. Alright, then we get a recap of the Ops. Hangman Adam Page, that's, you know, the cowboy, did some cowboy shit last week on Dynamite with the Death Riders. And then Darby comes out with his flamethrower. We'll talk about Darby in a little bit. But there was a little bit of a production gaffe botch, was Nigel throws it to a post-show interview, but we go right to the ring instead. Bad production, as always, from AEW. Go. Tony Khan's gonna fire somebody. I don't know what that was. Thought I heard something. Anyway. And yeah, pretty much it. Alright, after that, we go to mixed tag team action as William Useless and Marina Shafir teaming up for the first time. Take on Rachel Ellering and Rosario Grillo. Grillo? No, Grillo. Match wasn't anything to write home about. 2 minutes suck fest. It ends with Marina Shafir kicking Rachel Ellering down, then locks her in mother's milk, and Rachel did the only thing she could. Tapped out in 2 minutes! And that's it. Match I gave 2 out of 5 stars. After the match, I don't know why they gave this guy the mic. William Useless gets on the mic. Not happy with Chris Cakelander, who betrayed him and the Death Riders last week, basically telling Mox, "Fuck you, man!" And then beating up William Useless. So he's not happy with that. And says, "You betrayed the only people who cared about you the most. I'm the reason you're the champion right now, and on Dynamite, you will pay for making the wrong choice." Speaking of people making the wrong choice, he says, "Hi guys, it's me, Darby. I make wrong choices all the time. Did you see me? I went up Mount Everest and I almost killed myself, but I only did it for you people because I don't give a fuck about you, about myself. I weigh 150 pounds. I come from Seattle. Fuck you guys. Get out of here, Darby." Anyway. So it brings up Darby, will not give up and go away. Darby saw a lot of dead bodies on Mount Everest. So the Death Riders say, "We're going to put you right next to them next week, or this week." And then Moxley gets on the mic and starts yelling about the ops a little bit more. Why not? And we get that. Alright, then we're going to look at Darby challenging Mox with the flamethrower for Wrestle Dream, and that's 2 weeks from Saturday. That's October the 19th, I believe? The 18th? No, it is the 18th. October the 18th, 2025 is Wrestle Dream from the Cavis Arena in St. Louis, Missouri. So, that's going to be fun. And that's going to be an I Quit match. And, how much more violent can these fuckers get? I guess we'll have to see in 2 weeks. And that's that. Alright, we move on with that. And that's that. Alright, after that, we get to another video after Dynamite with the Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page, about to do and say some cowboy shit. He's there with the Ops, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and Samoa Joe. They're getting ready to destroy the Death Riders this week on Dynamite in a 6-man tag. And Joe promises a lot more lessons in violence. So, take notes, people. There will be a test. And that's that. Alright, back to some wrestling action. There's a little less talk and a lot more action here on the AEW Collision Report. As my ex-girlfriend Ashley Marie would say. Former women's champion. You gotta love it. And I love her. Back then I did, but now she's with another guy. It is what it is. Didn't work out with me and her. And then, was single for like 3 months, and then I found you-know-who. It's been 18 great years! Almost, actually, next April will be 18 years with the ball and chain. So we're legal. We're legal to drink, legal to fuck, and we're legal to get married, too. But we're already married. But I digress on that. Alright, back to the action we go. Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, so a little acclaimed reunion. So we had, we didn't have daddy ass there, but so we can't say, "Scissor me, mommy ass!" Alright, so they reluctantly team up against the Swirl, and that's Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. It was an okay match. Anthony Bowens did Scissor Me Timbers. So they did, team up for a while. And then, Bowens goes to leave. Jerry Lynn, He comes out, starts yelling at him, forcing Bones back to the ring. Gets the hot tag, comes in and cleans house. Cleans something like a reverse angle slam. Interesting. On Lee Johnson. Blake Christian is back up with a running flippy dippity doo to Max Caster. Followed by a handspring kick, wee buster combo. That was nice. On Anthony Bowens. And then Max Caster tags himself in. But then Lee Johnson shoves Bowens into him for a crash on the floor. But then Bowens gets back up with one mean right hand, almost like a mollywop, looked like. And then Caster gets a fruit roll up. 1, 2, 3. The Acclaim get the win over the Swirl in a little over 11 minutes. And then after the match, Kerry Lynn wants to scissor, per se. But Bones is like, no. Not doing it. Not now. It wouldn't be prudent. Not happening right now. So we'll get that. So maybe we'll get them coming back. I think it was an experiment that went wrong by Tony Khan to break them up. They should have never broken them up. I'm just saying. We move on. Alright, after that, we get the matriarchy. That's Nick fucking Wayne, the Ring of Honor TV champion. Yeah, he's still the champ, surprisingly. Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Yes! Alright, they're there. And, well, they're pissed that Luchasaurus left and is now with Jungle Man Jack Perry to reform Jurassic Express. But Nick Wayne says that I'm ready to go after my former dad, Christian! So we gotta see what happens with that. And we move on with that. Alright, then we get the Tony Khan's big announcement of the women's tag team titles that were unveiled last Wednesday night on the program. Still don't like the design, but it is what it is. Alright, then we hear from Anna Jay, who has a fat ass and a bad attitude. She's there with Ty Conti, or Ty Mello, whatever you want to call it. That's, the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara's hot, smoking wife. They're very excited about the women's tag team titles being introduced, and this is what they've been wanting for years. Not that they're going to be the first champs or anything, but you never know. I still think it's going to be Tony and Mina. Well, we got that. Alright, are you guys ready to go back to 1985? Let's fire up the DeLorean, because we're going back to 1985. And we got one of my favorite tag teams in AEW, the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. They team up with the crazy man himself. He's back, the Peacock. Dalton Castle with the boys, not those boys, not the Tate twins, 2 different boys. You know, so they team up against Corey Sparks. No, not Jordan Sparks. Corey Sparks. Cowpoke Paul. No, not Cowpote. That idiot from YouTube. And Kevin Matthews, otherwise known as Biff. So we see Biff, at least. You know, I was waiting for them to do something like, "Hey, it's Biff! What are you doing it, Biff? Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? It's leave! Make like a tree and leave! You sound so fucking idiotic when you say that!" He does. I mean, if you ever watched Back to the Future 2, you don't know that. But it is what it is. Alright, this match lasted 90 seconds. And, basically, Cowpoke Paul, that's his name, gets taken down by the Outrunners to start. Then Kevin Matthews comes in. Well, Biff comes in, gets suplexed by Dalton Castle. Then we get the Mega Powers elbow drop, brother, into the Bangarang, and finish off Kevin Matthews in like freaking 90 seconds. Filler match. And that's it. We get that. Alright, then we get a video from the Funky Chicken himself, Mark Briscoe, and as always, we pay homage to the great man up there, his brother, Jay Briscoe. You, sir, reach for the sky, boy. Alright, so we see Mark beating MJF in that hellacious tables and tacks match at All Out. Now Mark is back with the conglomeration, and he says, "We're funny, but we're no joke." Okay. Alright. What is the word of the... I don't even get the word of the day. I don't think he said anything. The word of the day is achieve. If you will achieve, you will pass. But if you don't achieve, you will be homeless. Or something like that. Anyway, moving on. Alright, then for the TNT title, we got Kyle Fletcher, the Proto Star, taking on the returning Commander, former Ring of Honor TV champion in his own right. This was a pretty, fun match. Back and forth they went for about 13 and a half minutes. But we're getting to the end, and we're getting running head scissors to the floor by Commander, but Fletcher comes right back with a Michinoku driver for a near fall on the inside of the ring. Then he gets kicked outside for a step-up twisting moonsault. Say that 5 times fast. Then back in the ring again. Commander hits a springboard Canadian Destroyer. Ow! Sets up a 450 for a near fall. And then Commander hits Cielito Lindo, or goes for it, and it hits Boots. Raised Boots. And then Kyle Fletcher throws him like a lawn dart right into the turnbuckle. And Commander is pretty much knocked the fuck out. And for added measure, Kyle picks him up and hits a Brain Buster! 1, 2, 3 to attain the TNT title in exactly 13 and a half minutes. Match was alright. It was pretty good, and that's that. Alright, then we're going to look at Hologram being attacked earlier by, I assume, Josh Alexander. Not Josh, sorry, Kyle Fletcher, plus the win, so we got that. So then we hear from Fletcher after he retained. It says this was the attack was about reestablishing dominance, and I'm just so upset about not facing Hologram. Now he has no one to face, but he wants someone to step up to give him a challenge this Wednesday night on Dynamite. And it's going to be freshly squeezed orange juice, Orange Cassidy. Is Orange Cassidy going to win? Probably not. And we get that. Alright. Then we go to a tag team match player. Actually, it's a Texas Tornado match per Tony Khan. It's Big Cass and the Bad Apple Brian Keith taking on the new team, the New York Bronx team of Eddie Kingston and a 7-foot man. You, get in here, Hook. Bring your Doritos. Hook, ladies and gentlemen, is here with his Doritos. They're very tasty. Have some. So they team up in a Texas Tornado match. Why not? This was, not so much hardcore, per se, but we're getting to the end. Shawnee gives us some breaking news that Dynamite would be 2.5 hours this week. Oh, God. So from 8 to 10:30 this week, was, next week, the week after that is, we're going to get killed in the ratings, so why not? Just some baseball. Anyway, so we get that. And then Eddie Kingston crotches Big Cass, pops back up to try a double choke slam, which is broken up, and a double suplex puts Big Cass down for a near fall. To get back up, Big Cass boots Eddie, hits a clothesline for a near fall, only for Eddie to hit a dragon screw leg whip. Ow! Knocks him down. Brian Keith gets knocked down as well, and then Eddie hits that spinning back fist of his, knocked Brian Keith for a loop. And then Hook was right behind him, locks in the Kata Hajime, the Red Rum, and Brian Keith just pretty much went to sleep. And that's it. A little over 10 minutes. Eddie Kingston and Hook get the win, and I didn't give 2 fucks. And that's it. Alright, after that, we get to the Bang Bang Gang, Guns Up. And that's Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn. They agreed that they need new members since Colton Gunn and Jay White are injured. We don't know when they're coming back. So they recruit a member of the Bullet Club, to shoot me for the love of God. And that's Ace Austin. So he becomes the newest member. I think it's pretty nice, and they're not selling his cards, which sucks. Alright, so we'll see what happens with the new version of the Bang Bang Gang, or the Bullet Club Gold, whatever you want to call it. We get that. Alright, then we run down the card for Dynamite. Then we get to your main event of the evening. Jamie Hayter, or Daphne from Scooby-Doo, takes on the beautiful Julia Hart of the Triangle of Madness with her bestie Sky Blue, who's looking amazing at ringside. Alright, pretty much a back and forth match. Both women doing what they had to do. Getting to the end, Jamie comes right back after a crucifix by Julia Hart for a near fall. Jamie comes right back with a fireman's carry on the knee. almost like a Ushigoroshi or collateral damage almost. But Julia managed a neck breaker. Then she kicks Jamie down, goes to the moonsault. It connects for a near fall as Jamie's foot was on the rope. And then Julia Hart locks in the octopus to put Jamie in more trouble. That gets reversed into a tombstone power driver for a near fall. Then Jamie picks up Julia Hart, hits Haterade. 1, 2, 3 in under 11 minutes. Because you kick out of the tombstone, then you hit Haterade. Alright, so Jamie gets the win. Pretty decent match. And then after the match, Sky Blue comes in and jumps Jamie Hayter, who then gets double super kicked. And then the one and only Queen Aminata comes in with a belt to make the save. And then Dekla comes out. Dekla comes out for a 3-on-2 beatdown. And then Jamie Hayter says, I have an idea. There's only one simple way to solve this. And it's 3 words. Not 3 letters, 1 word. It's 3 words. Blood and guts! So we got a women's version of Blood and Guts, the double War Game style match with the roof, of course. And then Tony Baloney says, we might get it on Dynamite this week! No, we're not. Probably not. And then we end the show. So I don't know if Blood and Guts is going to be this week, it's going to be next week, who knows when it's going to be. But we got that. Alright, so a women's Blood and Guts match should be alright. Probably won't go 45 minutes. I think it's going to go at least 20, maybe 30 minutes at most. But we'll see what happens with that. And that's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Raw is on the air. So I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to fire up the VPN and go watch it on the good old trusty computer. And that's it. Alright, guys, I'm out of here. So, Collision, it was alright. 6.25 out of 10 stars for that. Leave me your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, so we'll probably talk about Raw after this. So 3 videos for the price of 1, right here on the Kill with Demons channel. And tomorrow, late tomorrow night, we'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor, and also thoughts about Victory Road. Getting you ready for this Thursday night's edition of TNA and Ring of Honor, as TNA will be on the road to Bound for Glory, and Ring of Honor just keeps going. That's it. And we move on with that. And that's it. Alright, so that 1 video coming your way tomorrow. So we'll do, we'll do Raw later tonight. Late tonight. And that'll be it. And like I said, tomorrow we'll do TNA, Ring of Honor, and Victory Road thoughts and all that other shit. And then we'll get you ready for, be after NXT and everything. So that's that. And then we'll talk about NXT Wednesday. Get you ready for Dynamite Wednesday night. And if anything else comes up between now and Wednesday afternoon, we'll talk about it. And that's that. Alright, guys, I am out of here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.